What's good? Welcome back. So here we are to, I guess part two of this, Let's Chat. Um, so if you didn't watch my previous video, basically, what happened is that my mic while I was playing this game didn't record, and, yeah, I really didn't want to, uh, like I was making I mean when I'm commentating an entire game, I want to actually commentate the entire game, and I don't know, I feel like I'd be kind of missing, or I'd be kind of messing up on these two videos without at least commentating somewhat. And I've been thinking about doing this little Let's Just Chat series where we're just just talk about stuff that is coming up, and whatnot. um, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, really. I don't really have too much to say, besides, other than, hey, if you want to basically get the gist of it, just watch the previous part, um, part 11, I believe, that we are on with this game, and yeah, and just so on. So, anyways, so last time we was just talking about, like where my channel is at, why I started doing YouTube, what I think about this game, and yeah, and it's just stuff about Dead by Daylight. I know that basically about Dead by Daylight, yeah, I know my videos has gotten a lot of good views with, excuse me, when it comes to Dead by Daylight. But like I said, that game kind of just stresses me out, and I don't want to just, I don't want to go through that kind of mess just for views. But I guess I kind of just can go ahead and start talking about, my plans for this channel. Um, Honestly, I don't really have too much. I don't really have too much plans on this channel, to be honest. And I don't want to sound discouraging or something like that, but let me just go ahead and explain. So when I first started this channel years ago, I was in high school and I was making a bunch of funny montages and stuff like that. Back in those days, I thought it would be easy making YouTube videos. I would get big, kind of just living the dream life. And honestly, it makes me sound like, I don't know, probably, I don't want to come off as arrogant and stuff like that. I've always been very confident, um, and I was more confident in YouTubing before I actually started doing the YouTubing thing. And I was making a bunch of funny montages and stuff like that, which you guys can still watch. I have a whole playlist of them, and they're so funny. Where it's just me and my friends, and our funniest moments, with, us playing games, mainly like The Last of Us, back in those days. Um, and I don't know, man. Just one day I just stopped making videos. I think I just, after, I don't know. I don't know what part. I honestly, I don't keep track too much, um, of where I'm at, when I'm making long series like the Mass Effect series that went up to like 40, or even The Witcher. I think we went up to like 70, 80 parts and stuff like that. I don't really keep track of exactly where I'm at and all that stuff. But I think I got really discouraged at one point, and I just figured, maybe YouTube wasn't for me and stuff like that. But obviously, if you watch the first part, because of this pandemic that we're in, I mainly make these videos mainly for my mom. Try to keep her entertained. And she loves these stories. And holy shit, that bright! Wow, it did not look like that when I was playing the game. Maybe it'll look different when this video goes on YouTube, but yeah. Okay, there we go. I didn't know if it was gonna be so bright that we can't see Trico and what's going on over there. Anyways, but yeah. So really, I'm just making videos every day. Just with games that I love, and play and stuff like that. And another good thing I really like about doing this YouTube thing is I can finish games a lot easier and with a better pace than like if I was playing it on my own. Mainly, I can, like, when I get introduced into something, and if I like it, I'll really like it to the point where I'm just so into it. I want to learn everything about it, like kind of like learning a new game or a new multiplayer game. You want to learn the mechanics, stuff like that. I'm so excited because I love to learn stuff. But once I learn how to play that game, and I figured out what's the baseline of the game, like what am I doing. I pretty much just I don't know, I guess I can kind of get bored, or I can kind of get thrown off, and I'll just be looking for something else to play, another game to play, because I want to learn how to play that game, you know. And it can really come up to me just not finishing or completing a game. But this really does help me out to understand how to play. Or not, hang on a sec. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted because this is basically where Trico goes beast mode. And it's pretty sick. Hell yeah. Yeah, man, this game is definitely gives you Uncharted vibes, which is awesome. So this is such a good game. Anyways, but yeah, yeah. So this channel really started out with montages and stuff like that. And honestly, I'll be honest, I kind of wish, like, in part 10, there's like a face reveal. So if you're curious to see what I look like, I pretty much still look the same, except I just don't wear hats as much as I did in high school. I honestly, I think if there's just one thing I regret about having YouTube. Oh wait, this is where I commit suicide. That was by total accident, by the way. I didn't really meant to do that. Anyways, one thing I kind of regret about, I guess, one of my regrets on YouTube is doing a face reveal so early. Honestly, like I said, I was so confident I was gonna get somewhere, stuff like that. And just when reality hits, I mean, it hits hard, man. The thing is, though, is I don't think it was something to do with my content being bad or something like that. Before I come off as arrogant, just let me explain. I think it's just because I started so late. Like, if I started back when, like maybe like when the Rad Brad was starting, or maybe when PewDiePie was starting, stuff like that, I would probably have grown a little bit faster as a channel. But because I started so late, everyone's kind of used to it. Gaming has become such a big thing nowadays. Excuse me. It's become such a big thing nowadays. You're pretty much used to seeing montage and stuff like that. Like people aren't calling it baby's toy anymore. Yeah, and you just kind of gotta go at your own pace. So it is what it is. I'm still don't. I want to go ahead and make it clear that I don't, it's not that I still feel discouraged or anything about making YouTube videos. Which is why I've started doing like just like let's play, I guess, on games I like playing. It's just that I have so many other things I want to do in my life as a person. I have so many things I want to experience. Plus, if someone told me in high school that it will feel like I'm losing more time each day, with what I want to do, I wouldn't believe them. But now it's like, once you have daily stuff you want to do, like, like for me, for instance, I wake up, eat breakfast, I spend an hour making videos, and then I go out, work out, come back, eat lunch, and I'll like I try to stay smart, like with either studying math or reading. Stuff like that. Then I'll take a nap, and then I'll just want to chill out until I have to go to work, because I work at night. And yeah, it does feel like you're losing more time as an adult, so every time is precious. I guess if there was one thing I'd tell myself when I was younger, is that time is a very precious thing, because you don't get a lot of it, or it doesn't feel like you get a lot of it, but you gotta kind of make the most of it. And yeah, so anyways, the point is, though, as far as I know, I'm still gonna be making videos. I know my montages just definitely have come a lot less frequently than like over the years, and that's just mainly because like there hasn't really been a game that me and all my friends all played together every day, like The Last of Us Part 1. which is why we were actually really disappointed that part 2 of The Last of Us didn't get a multiplayer. And my friends keep holding on to hope that maybe we will get a part 2 multiplayer, but I think at this point it's kind of like we're kind of there to where we're not getting a part 2 multiplayer. That's just where I see it. But yeah, really, I don't want to just give you guys a half-ass montage or something that isn't funny just so I can just make another video, you know. I want to make, there's something about my YouTube channel is that if I like it and I think it's good and I want to share it with people, I will share it. I won't ever force myself to put out a video just to have another video on there and stuff like that. And yeah, that's just how I see him, you know. I just want to stay real. I want to stay true. But yeah, that's pretty much the pros and cons. I guess planning wise, you know, for the next game, it's like how I choose my game, stuff like that. So I know it's kind of weird, how I did The Witcher, and I came back at like, you know, I do 10 parts of The Witcher, and then I come back to it like later on. You know, kind of just put in a few games in between, and then we'll go back later on to play The Witcher. The thing is, I knew Witcher was going to be a long ass game. Did I knew it was going to take me 80 something parts to complete it? No, I honestly didn't. And I can definitely probably have finished it a lot sooner. But the thing is, though, with The Witcher is that it's just a side quest heavy game where you want to take your time with the game, because if you rush it, you're not going to get the same experience. Obviously the story is good. The DLCs are freaking awesome. I mean, they're so good that they could actually be their own game. Mainly Blood and Wine. It could have been its own game. But if you haven't played The Witcher and you like RPGs, definitely play it. The stories are so good, and arguably it has the best side quests I've ever played in a video game, because they're all very deep in story and stuff like that, and your choices that you make in the game actually do have impact, which is some things that I have a problem with some, you know, make your choice games like Telltale games. If you guys remember those companies, like with The Walking Dead, what other games they made? They made Game of Thrones game. They made a Guardians of the Galaxy game, which I never completed. Just some other stuff too, like Wolf Among Us. Like, it was pretty cool and it was pretty dynamic when it first came out. Or like, oh, this is a game where you have choices, and your choices will affect, you know, your character, the people around you later on in the game, which is awesome. But it doesn't go to the point where it changes the game entirely. You know, like say if you're getting chased by a couple of dinosaurs. Alright, this is just me speaking out the top of my mind, just like what I'm doing right now. Say you're getting chased by a couple of dinosaurs. You either have a choice of getting into the car and escaping, running, or you look to your right and there's a big red button on the desk. And if you press that button, it will shoot robots from the sky, and they will save you, kill all the dinosaurs, but the consequences is that the dinosaur king will get pissed off and you'll start a whole entire war, which will cause a lot of people's lives to be sacrificed. But if you run away, there's a chance of you getting lost and dying and stuff like that, basically leading you to a completely different path, completely different game and all that stuff. I know it was very terrible, and I know it's so random, but that's honestly what I thought of in the top of my head. And games like that, I mean, I know it's hard to do, but your choices doesn't affect too much. You know, you'll end up going down the same path anyways. And with The Witcher, that's pretty much not the case, but your choices do change, like, what happens in the outcome, you know? Like, there was one side mission where I think, so there was two sisters. One of them was in love with, one sister was in a relationship with a werewolf, the other sister was madly in love with the werewolf, I think. Uh, and so the sister who was madly in love with the werewolf, but not in the relationship, did something to where it basically killed the sister who was in that relationship with the werewolf. And it, and basically at the end when you figure it out, you could either kill the werewolf, or I guess you can let the werewolf eat the sister, I guess. Eat the sister that basically killed the other sister who was in that relationship with the werewolf. Now, I'll admit, like, when I very first played the game, I killed the werewolf because, you know, no more blood needs to be, well, I guess one more blood needs to be spilled, but it shouldn't be human. No matter how, hard, I don't know. It's hard to explain where I'm coming from. Basically, I know that, like, if you watch, honestly, I don't know what part it is. It could be part 59, 68, whatever. Definitely not 68, because, I think 50 and below is basically the base game of The Witcher, and I think that was part of the Witcher, yeah, it was part of the base Witcher game side quest. Basically, you can choose who lives and who dies. And I wasn't paying attention. I think I was in a party with my friends at that point, a PlayStation party with my friends, and I was talking to them, and I think I just let the sister die, because I didn't really care much anyways, because, I mean, she was a bitch. She killed her own family just to be in love, you know, which kind of goes back to the saying, love is blinding, you know. And yeah, and it just affects the outcome of it. And when a game like that makes you have a choice where you make a decision of the outcome or something like that, I guess it makes sense. But that's not the entire game, you know. It's not the entire game to lead you down a different path or whatever. By the way, this part is going to be gut wrenching for anyone like me who's a dog lover. But yeah, honestly, I kind of forgot where this conversation was starting, or how it started at first. But it was just me going on. But I pretty much ran out of bullet points to speak, so I guess I'll go ahead and let this scenario play out. And yeah, man, get those tissues ready, man. This part's hard. Hard on the heart. So I'll go ahead and be honest. This part I pretty much started tearing up. I mean, if there's one thing I really hate, I can't stand dogs, animals, whatever you want to call this thing, to get hurt. And I'm even tearing up just watching this part. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not gonna start crying, on the mic or anything like that. I'll mute myself if that happens. So if there's like a thing of silence, you know what I'm doing. Um, yeah, God, I actually had an idea what I was gonna talk about, and I can't think of it. But basically, yeah, man, I hate seeing dogs, especially, because they're, like I said, they're like my top three favorite animals. I love bunnies, I love uh, rats, I love dogs, I love ravens. They're like my top four. I actually had pet rats a couple years ago. Um, it's a whole nother story. Let's just say I basically got bummed by PetSmart or PetsCo. I don't know. I get those two mixed up because they're actually two different companies, believe it or not. But basically, I thought I was expecting to get two boys as pet rat. Turns out one of them was a girl. Um, you can kind of do the math on your own how I figured that out. And when two rats turned into like 16 rats, that's when I just I was getting stressed out, so I went ahead and sent them to a privately owned pet shop, um, where I know they'll be taken care of and stuff like that. But I do miss them. I'm pretty sure they'll be dead at this point. I mean, it was years ago, and rats unfortunately only have the lifespan of like 2 years. But I know a lot of people don't like them, and they're disturbing to look at. A lot of people get grossed out by the tails and stuff like that. But I mean, if you ever own pet rats or know someone who owns them, and just see how intelligent, how lovable they are as pets, because pets have feelings. They're smart. Uh, they're really sweet. Um, it'll hopefully change your perspective. But yeah. And when it comes to like dogs, I can't stand hearing a dog whine, in pain, stuff like that. Um, I remember when I was younger in elementary school, back when Spectrum, which is a cable company, was Time Warner Cable. They used to have movies on Time Warner Cable, and uh, I convinced my mom to let me watch Alien 3 or 4. I forgot which one it was, but basically there was a part where basically there was a dog that was just getting killed by one of the xenomorphs, I think they were called, by the alien. I don't know if it was the xenomorph or it could have been the freaking little face hugger thing. Either way, it kept crying and whining, and I started bawling and tearing up because I couldn't handle just listening to that dog dying. Obviously, no dogs got hurt on the set, stuff like that, and I guess they did a really good job making that dog cry somehow. But somehow. But yeah, man, I can't stand animals getting hurt, and yeah, man, especially Trico right here. Like I said, it would be so awesome to have a pet like Trico. But overall, like having a friend like Trico is definitely rare and hard to come by, especially as an adult. I mean, obviously I have my friends in Britain and stuff like that I care for. But I mean, they're in Britain. Absolutely, you can tell. Obviously, you can tell by my accent. I'm American. I live in America, um, and stuff like that. Uh, Friends like that are rare to come by, and for anyone who has a friend like that, keep them close because no, because when you need them, they'll be there for you. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't really have too much else to talk about. So I guess I'll go ahead and let this last few minutes play out the way they are. I do want to go ahead and I guess I'll go ahead and mention that yeah. So I usually try to keep my videos at like 30 minutes, 2 parts a day, kind of stuff like that. But when this part came up, we were past the 30-minute mark. And I had to see if Trico was going to be okay, which you'll see what happens. But overall, man, this part was emotional for me, I'll admit. So sorry, I know if I sound like a little bitch on mic or something like that, but I mean, I'm trying to keep this commentary going. We still got about almost 2 minutes left, so yeah. But honestly, though, I honestly do enjoy this less chat thing. Like I said, I've always been kind of wanting to do it. I guess, oh, you know what? I always been kind of wanting to do it, and I guess it's a kind of a good place to start. I'll go ahead and, since we only have like 2 minutes left, so, you know, just, I guess kind of coming up with the plans of YouTube and all that stuff. I did have my PC, as I mentioned earlier in the playthrough. Unfortunately, it has a bad CPU. It would turn off, like, when I play a game, it would turn off within like 5 minutes. And it really sucked because I spent a lot of money on that fucking PC. And it turned out that the company, I don't know if I don't know, I don't think I'll mention it because I don't want to have any beef or anything like that. The company was basically sending out a bad batch of computers with bad CPUs, or I guess a batch of computers with bad CPUs. I guess that's how you would appropriately say it. And there was pretty much, from what that guy sounded like, there's nothing you could do. And the reason why he said there's been a bad batch because he had another computer, another of the same kind of computer from the same company with the same problems I had in the back of the store, which sucks, but I mean, I guess that's what happened. So I returned my PC. I'm still waiting for the money to come back in, but I think I'm just gonna wait later this week to get a Corsair PC. As far as I heard, this company Corsair, I've heard nothing bad about these guys. Hopefully, hopefully I won't have a bad experience. I mean, I'm not expecting to, but yeah, and hopefully when that goes up, I'll get kind of used to it, and I can probably get into editing a bit and start editing videos more, and hopefully they can be more entertaining, or I can do make it easier on myself. So yeah, and yeah, here we are. Trico's all right. I mean, I don't know. I was gonna leave it at where the screen went black, but I had to have this part where Trico was all right. And look at this guy. He's ready to go. All right, he's ready to go. I'm ready to go. Because I need to go eat some lunch. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. Sorry if this distracted you, but I love you. Bye.